So, over the last little while here, it feels like there's been kind of a surge of cancel culture rearing its ugly head again, including, if not stemming from the right side of the aisle. I think Kaya Raychek, or Libs of TikTok, was out there raising Cain and doxing people who were, shall we say, less than mortified at the assassination attempt on Trump. I assume she was doing this with the intention of getting them to lose their jobs or something. Anyways, it occurred to me to wonder, what is the common denominator here? Because a hot minute ago, it feels like the left they were the people doing this, and the right was actively decrying that. So, what is it? These two groups seemingly are very, very different. Now, one thing I think I should mention, it sounds like an excuse, and maybe it even is. It feels like, by and large, the worst types of people are the most attracted to power. And believe it or not, the right is in fact becoming more venerable and more powerful. More respectable, at least. And it feels like you get a different breed of recruit. You get people who might not necessarily be there for the cause, but might be there for themselves. Anyways, be that as it may. What types of people are in favor of this deplatforming and censoring and cancel culture? It feels like there's a group, and then there's a subgroup that would be in favor of this. The subgroup would be the most in favor of it, that is. So, the group that would maybe be in favor of this would be people who are establishment acceptable, right? The types of people who believe that they could make these policies and not be on the receiving end of them. Now, they're wrong, I think, for the most part. If you do this type of thing, if you participate in this type of behavior, I imagine that eventually it will come back to bite you. Now, within this group of establishment acceptable people, there's non-creative establishment acceptable people. And I think these would be the most in favor of it. So I'll try to explain what I mean here. The events could maybe unfold themselves like this. So you have a person who comes up with a creative strategy to attack you or your ideology or your political movement. What's your solution to that? Well, if you're a non-establishment acceptable person, or even if you are an establishment acceptable person who has a sense of nobility or something like that, sense of fair play maybe, your reaction to this will be the appropriate reaction. And to my mind, the only real solution to creativity, match creativity with creativity, right? If someone comes up with a creative strategy to harm you, you come up with a creative counter strategy for that, right? But if you are an establishment acceptable person who doesn't care for fair play, or if you're a non-creative establishment acceptable person who also doesn't care for fair play, what's your solution going to be to this? I think by and large, the incentive would be take a one-size-fits-all solution. You make a box with yourself at the center of this box because you don't want to be on the receiving end of it, right? You don't want to be on the receiving end of this policy. And you say that everyone outside of this box is bad and evil and should be censored and deplatformed and doxxed and canceled. And it feels like these are the type of people who are really in favor. They'll be the ones who kind of spearhead these movements to cancel other people or to deplatform them or to censor them. These non-creative, establishment acceptable people. Anyways, don't go crazy with this idea. For the record, yes, I think laws are pretty much intended to curtail people's freedom of action or their creative potential of humanity, but also they're sometimes made for good reasons. Technically, killing a person who sees you commit a crime is a creative strategy, but it's also just wrong and bad and no good. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please press the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment if you want to.